Yo, what is up everyone, Z-Karma here, and welcome back to another boring math video here in Borderlands 3. Today we're going to be taking a look at another of the new anointments, and this time it is on action skill and create a cyber spike that damages nearby enemies. So what I'm going to do with this video is do a full breakdown of this anointment so you know exactly how it works, and then you can make an informed decision of whether or not you're going to use it. So before I get into the actual breakdown, if you guys find this video informative or helpful in some way, a like rating is always appreciated, and if you want to subscribe for more Borderlands 3 content like this, that would be awesome as well. So anyways, let's just get straight into it. So first off, I wanted to point out that this anointment does not work on this test dummy. You are only going to do 1 damage if you do this. So let me show you. If I use my action skill and I wait for this, it is going to do 1 damage. And in case you guys didn't catch that, it is actually kinetic damage. So against actual enemies, we are going to be doing kinetic damage. Another thing is that as the spike passes through enemies, around enemies, it's going to be doing constant damage, constant ticks that are going to be kinetic as well, which I'll show you later on. Next thing I want to mention is that this can actually work with elemental anointments. So if I equip this 50% bonus cryo with weapons for 10 seconds, and I use my action skill, I am also going to do cryo damage. Anyway, moving on. Next thing I want to talk about is that you cannot fake grasp with this anointment, which is actually pretty interesting. So in case you guys weren't aware, up until now, every single on action skill and anointment works when you fake grasp, but not this one. So in my opinion, this is basically the starting point to where every on action skill and anointment from now on will not work if you try to fake your action skill. So let me show you. We're going to use our action skill and nothing happens, which might be frustrating for some of us, but let's be honest, that's how it should be working in the first place. And in case you're curious, yes, every other on action skill and anointment still works by fake grasping. Next thing I want to talk about is that you have to wait until your action skill ends in order for this anointment to work. And you have to have that weapon out when you use your action skill. So if I phase grasp an enemy, I cannot switch weapons if I want that anointment to work. And if I switch to a weapon that has the same anointment, it's still not going to work because I activated my action skill while I didn't have this weapon out. And again, I will display that over with enemies, so let's make our way over there. So quick example, I'm going to face grasp an enemy, and then I will switch to a weapon that has that anointment, and you'll see that when my action skill ends, it's not going to work because I did not have this weapon out while I activated the action skill. So if I grasp that enemy and then switch, we wait for the action skill to be done, and nothing comes out of the weapon. But if I use my action skill and I wait until this is over, it should actually work this time. And there you go. As soon as it's done, it was sent out. So in case you guys didn't see that, the damage that we were doing, the spike was ticking for 272 kinetic damage, and the explosion did 128k damage. Now the question is, can we get that damage even higher? Well, answer is no. That is all the damage you're gonna do. So 128k on the higher Mayhem levels is not gonna do anything, unfortunately. This anointment needs a rework, and let me show you real quick. I'm actually gonna get a crazy Amar build going here. So I made a build that's actually pretty decent. I got a bunch of skills that increase damage, elemental damage, all sorts of stuff. And if we use our action skill and we wait for this thing, we're still doing 272. 128k right there. So I don't know if you missed it, but I did see a critical hit. That's because the spike can actually do critical hits, and they are multiplied by 4. So if I'm doing 272 as my body damage, I would be doing 1088 for a critical hit. Same with the actual spike, 128k times 4. Which gives us about 512,000, so 500k damage, but realistically, hitting a headshot with this thing is extremely difficult. And even so, that 500k damage is going to be nothing when it comes to the higher Mayhem levels, unless of course you have those elemental anointments, which I think still won't make that much of a difference. So we're gonna have this incendiary, And then let's equip that cryo grenade as well. And let's use our action skill one more time. And all those damages that you see right there are because of these anointments. So we already established that the spike damage cannot be changed whatsoever. You're doing 272 as the damage that is ticking and 128,000 as the damage when it actually explodes. Now, as for these anointments, these work differently, of course. You get 50% of those damages and then you convert them into these elements, and that's the damage that you're going to be doing for the ticks as well as the 128k from the actual explosion or impact. So these 50% elemental damages are actually affected by some skills. Not all of them, but some. First off, it's affected by elemental damage. If you have an elemental damage bonus, you are going to get an increase to those specific damages. So for example, we have Tempest, which gives us a 30% elemental damage. So the ticks that we're getting thanks to this are going to be affected. But keep in mind that doesn't mean that the spike is doing more damage. It's just because these damages are completely separate. They have nothing to do with the spike damage. They just provide you with that bonus damage. So these also get influenced by Amara's personal space. The closer I am to the target, the more they do. But it still doesn't make a difference. Especially, like I said, on the higher Mayhem levels. I really don't know if there's a special gimmick with this because I think it should scale depending on how much damage you're doing, or at least it should scale depending on how powerful your weapon is. Because as of now, this anointment is practically useless as it's barely going to tickle any enemies past Mayhem 4. So anyways guys, that's going to do it for the video. If you guys found this informative or helpful in some way, a like rating is always appreciated, and if you want to subscribe for more content like this, that'll be awesome as well. Hope y'all have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.